Welcome back. Now, the newly elected Western Cape DA leader, Bonkosi Matikizela, is standing by in our Cape Town studios, and we'll be chatting to him in about 10 to 15 minutes. For now, last week we brought you an exclusive interview with Carl Pistorius, who is Oscar Pistorius' brother. Now, this after the Lifetime Film Company in the United States produced a film on the fatal shooting of Reeva Steenkamp on Valentine's Day in 2013. Now, the film also dramatized the court case in the trial. The Pistorius family claimed that they were not consulted and may even consider taking legal action against the film company. Palesa met with Carl in Pretoria to discuss the matter further, and also how this film may impact negatively on the upcoming sentencing of Oscar Pistorius in November. And this is part 2 of our exclusive interview with Carl Pistorius.
Obviously, the family has seen the trailer, so has most of South Africans. But Oscar Pistorius, I know you still get to speak to him as family. Has he seen the trailer, and what's his reaction to the trailer?
I have spoken to Oscar. I don't believe he's seen the trailer, not as far as I know. I spoke to him today, and I know he's devastated. He's devastated at the narrative. He's devastated for both families, both the Steenkamp family and our family, and everybody else that has had to go through this ordeal, this tragedy. He's devastated.
Yeah, so he hasn't seen it, but talk to us about his impressions. What do you think Oscar would say, or how do you think Oscar would feel if he was given that opportunity to see that trailer?
I know what his impressions are. His impression is he's outraged. He's outraged. He's outraged that this is a claimed version of the truth, but contrary to the findings of the court, as I said earlier. This is what prosecution tried to portray him as. Harry Nell blatantly called him, not even insinuated, but blatantly called him a narcissist, a sociopath, and that was not the finding of the court. And this narrative is in line with what prosecution tried to portray as the fact at the beginning of the trial.
We know the role that's played by social media in South Africa. You go to Twitter, this issue was trending, and a whole lot of South Africans have their own views, of course, and rightfully so. They're entitled to their own views. And some of them really, they believe that this is a story that needs to be told. Some are saying that, yes, this is a story that has to be told, but must be told by our South African people. So do you think it should still be told, but in a manner of which the truth is shared?
Absolutely. This is a gross misrepresentation of the truth, and as a gross misrepresentation of the truth, we take issue with that. The narrative should reflect the findings of the court at the very least, and we don't feel that this film does. Interestingly enough, I saw a tweet by the actress who plays Reeva in the film, and it was forwarded to me by someone yesterday, and she states that this is a fictional rendition of the Oscar Pistorius case.
So you are contemplating taking legal action. You've consulted with your legal representatives from here at home and overseas. But what happens next? What happens in the meantime? Because the movie will be showing on the 11th of November.
This case has suffered international interest, which has been difficult, I think, for both families. And added its own complications to the trial and the matter, which has been finalized, but the sentencing is still before the court. So the sentencing which is before the Supreme Court of Appeals is in November. The release of this film is in November. So obviously that is an interesting take. It's something that we need to consider. We do actually think that this would possibly negatively impact the sentencing, or Oscar's sentencing, and public opinion. but that is something that we still have to weigh.
Yeah.
We haven't. We're not entirely convinced that we will have the opportunity or successfully be able to interdict the film.
Many legal experts here in South Africa have, given their opinion on this matter. Many of them saying that your chances really are very slim. You may be able to interdict the movie from showing here in South Africa, but it can be very difficult to do so overseas due to the different legal systems.
We have to adopt a wait and see attitude. Given our current understanding of the US legal system and the counsel that we have received, we are still weighing up opinions, and we might possibly have to adopt that view in South Africa as well.
Well, the final part of this interview with Palesa talking to Carl Pistorius will be played a little later on in the show today. And we're particularly interested in what your opinions are in this particular movie. And our question of the day is, would you support a locally produced feature film about the tragic story of Oscar Pistorius and Reeva Steenkamp? And it is important to note that the Steenkamp family say they are not even able to discuss this issue with us. So as mentioned just now, the final part of this interview with Palesa talking to Carl Pistorius will be played a little later on the show. And once again, our question of the day is, would you support a locally produced feature film about the tragic story of Oscar Pistorius? Tweet us your comments or your responses at Morning Live SABC. Use that hashtag Morning Live SABC. We'll certainly read your comments and your insights into this issue throughout the show. Let's go for coffee now. We'll be right back with the news at the top of the hour.